Hello everybody, I'm outside the Allianz Stadium after Juventus 1-0 win over Genoa, and it was of course Igor Tudor's first game in charge of Juventus, an important game because Bologna had won against Venezia before the Juventus match, so the old lady absolutely needed to win and they got the job done thanks to a great goal from Kenan Yildiz. But of course all the eyes were on Igor Tudor, who had already received a very warm welcome from Juventus Ultras the day before of the game. They went outside the team's hotel and they sang his name. He came out from his hotel room and waved at them, and so it was all set for hopefully a good game for Juventus, and it really was a good game, especially the first half. Juventus pressed quite high. They played attacking football. The second half was not quite the same, but in the end I would say they absolutely deserved to win this game and remain fifth, 1 point below Bologna. But what were the main changes from Tudor to compared to Thiago Motta, his predecessor? First of all, I think the first thing Tudor did during the warm-up was go with the team and stay with the team on the pitch. So at the very beginning, rather than staying on the touchline, something that other coaches had done, like Maurizio Sarri, Massimiliano Allegri, they didn't follow the warm-up from the actual pitch. They remained on the touchline watching the players train before the game with their staff. Tudor didn't do this. He went straight onto the pitch with his players training around him, and he followed them really closely. This was the first change compared to Thiago Motta. And then the second change, we saw Thiago Motta many times, especially in recent games, staying on the touchline, keeping his hands in his wallets and not doing much to give instructions, tactical instructions to the team. Tudor did exactly the opposite. He was very lively on the touchline. He gave a lot of tactical indications, a lot of guidance. He complained a lot to the referee and the fourth official. He got a yellow card as well because he complained for a yellow card to Kefren Turan, and he really helped Juventus score the winner because he quickly gave the ball to Teon Miners, I think he was, who then got the throw-in, gave the ball to Kenan Yildiz, and then Yildiz scored the goal to win the game for Juventus in the first half. But he was practically helped by Igor Tudor, who got the ball and quickly gave it to Cop Miners to resume the play quickly, and then Yildiz scored a few seconds later. Another change was in the relationship with the team. After the final whistle, 10 seconds later, Mattia Perin, who was one of the players who was said to be unhappy under Thiago Motta, he strongly hugged Igor Tudor on the touchline while Igor Tudor was going inside the pitch to congratulate his players and his opponents as well, including Patrick Vieira, who was one of his former teammates at Juventus, and he hugged Weston McKennie. Tudor, he hugged Dusan Vlahovic as well. So there was, you could see an already strong relationship. Then of course it's just the beginning, so it's never easy to say whether this will go one direction or the other, but at least it tried to build something strong. And even in his press conference, Igor Tudor said, I gave, of course, the players have my number. I told them, write to me, call me anytime you want, 24/7. We're friends off the pitch, but on the pitch, during training and during games, it must be absolute focus, absolute silence, and you must follow my guidance and my instructions. So, and I think this was reflected on the pitch as well, because as I said, there was a good atmosphere, and Tudor as well was happy with the atmosphere that he has created so far, and it was seen on the pitch with all these hugs, and especially some players who were said to be unhappy under Motta, who actually went to Tudor and hugged him and actually showed that they really wanted to start strong with this new coach. And then another clear change was in the communication after the game, after the full-time whistle. And I attended the Tudor's press conference, and the last question was, how happy were you and how thrilling it was to receive a warm welcome from the fans, because the fans sang Tudor's name before the game. They put up a banner saying "Welcome back home, Igor." You know, he's a former Juventus defender. He worked here as Andrea Pirlo's assistant in 2020-21, so he knows the clubs inside out. And he was asked how did it feel to be back home and to receive such a warm welcome, and he replied, it was good, but the victory was even better. And I immediately thought about a reply that Thiago Motta gave when he was in charge in January, before the Supercoppa against Milan. He was asked about the playing style, the team's mentality, and he said, I'm not obsessed to win games. The victory is not an obsession that I have. And this was perceived by the fans and probably by the players as well as a sign that Thiago Motta hadn't understood the club's DNA. He hadn't understood the place where he was, a club where the motto is winning is the only thing that matters. It's something that was unacceptable to hear, and Tudor would never commit the same mistakes. And he said that even if the welcome from the fans was thrilling and was exciting, the best thing in the evening was still the victory of the team. As I said, great Kenan Yildiz goal. Nico Gonzalez played as practically a right wing back, and he did pretty well. Probably one of the best performances at Juventus this season, even if in the final third he didn't do that much. On the left, Weston McKennie, not much unpredictability on the left, but he got the job done. He was pretty solid. Manuel Locatelli and Khéphren Thuram as well in the middle of the park. They did really well. Thuram, probably Locatelli started stronger than Thuram, but Thuram's final minutes were really good. I think after Yildiz, he was the best player on the pitch, Thuram. Defense, pretty good. Gatti started really well, but he got injured pretty soon, so he was subbed off and replaced by Pierre Kalulu. Tonko Miners is still struggling, clearly. He was probably the worst Juventus player. I think I rated him 5 out of 10 on Football Italia, and I think he was the worst performer at Juventus today. And it's probably the only thing that hasn't changed compared to the Thiago Motta tenure, because the Dutch midfielder is still struggling. He played slightly higher up the pitch today. He played probably closer to the goal. And the first half, especially the start, wasn't even that bad. I think he played pretty well. He tried to find the good positions to attack the space, but then the passing, the accuracy, even the shots, there was one shot on target from, I mean, it should have been on target from good position, but it was skyrocketed, something like pretty bad from him. And he was subbed off, something that almost never happened under Motta, but of course he was subbed off in the second half. And Tudor admitted that Cop Miners is not doing pretty well, but he said, I'm sure we're going to recover him, because he's a good guy. He's a guy who cares about this club, who cares about this team, and I'm sure that he's going to recover. And at the moment is clearly one of the worst signings for Juventus, especially because they got him for nearly 60 million. But Tudor knows this situation pretty well. Again, when he was at Juventus as a footballer, Pavel Nedved's first season was really good, but then the final part of his first campaign at Juventus, he was decisive with some key goals. I remember especially one away against Piacenza, and so maybe he will use some of his old tricks and some methods that he saw from his teammates to motivate further Tonko Miners. But overall, Juventus got the job done, won 1-0, got the 3 points, got a clean sheet, and there are 8 games remaining, and the race for the top 4 remains wide open. Again, Juventus remain 5th, 1 point behind Bologna, who won against Venezia today. So this is all from me. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel and get more information about Serie A and Italian football. Ciao!